Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Devyani and I make a lot of informational videos about living and studying in the UK. So in the past few days, I have been getting this question a lot and I thought I'll just come here and answer it for all of you. Is that, can you go back home to your home country during your dissertation time? So in this video, I'm going to cover all of that can you go, when you should come back, how long you should go, how are the visa implications and things like that. So make sure you watch this video until the end. But before we begin, I kindly request you guys to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I really want to reach 10k. It's been my dream, my vision board dream for a very long time. I'm on 8k right now, so 2k more. So please consider subscribing and let's get into this video. So the answer to the question is, can you go back home to your home country during your dissertation time? The simple answer is yes, you must. You can definitely go back home, have a good time home, but there are some things you need to know before that. So everybody here, most probably if you're watching this video, you are on a student visa. So on your BRP, you will have an expiry date when your BRP is going to end. So for the ones who came in September, mostly it's going to be 30 or 31st January. The ones who came in January, it's going to be whatever date it is. But if, for example, you came in September and your BRP, your student visa BRP ends January 30th. So the main thing you need to remember is, if you go back home, you need to come back in the country before the BRP expires. As easy as it is. Basically, if your visa is expiring on 30th January, try to come at least 15 to 20 days before, just in case if there are any implications, if you need to submit any documents, it's just in case, you need to be safe. You need to have at least 15 days of time to successfully fill in the application, submit the application, because you need to do some things scan the BRB, and sometimes iPhones don't work for that, so you have to use Android phone, you need to find somebody. So these processes can take a bit of time, so better to be safe than sorry. So I would recommend come back at least 15 days prior to your visa expiry date. Another thing you need to remember is, if you come very close to the expiry date, you might have some problems during immigration in London or wherever you land in the UK, because a lot of illegal immigrants come to the UK like that, when their BRP is expiring and then they just stay in the country and they never leave. So this is a very high risk thing in the UK, which happens quite a lot. So you might have a bit more grilling if you come very close to the end date. Why did you go back home? Why are you coming back? What is your PSW? When are you going to apply? Which university? And a lot more grilling. So just to be safe, have at least 15-20 days, so that if somebody asks, you can say that, okay, I'm on a valid student visa, I'm studying at this university, and then I'm just gonna apply for a PSW visa after, and then maybe your grilling would be less. So another thing is, if you go back home, don't go for more than 3 months of time. That is because when you're filling your PSW application, there is a section where they ask you, how long did you leave the UK? So if you have visited some country in Europe or anywhere, for example, you're visiting India, you have to mention that in your PSW visa application, that okay, you did go back home for this time and what was the reason for that. So if you have gone for more than 3 months, it raises some red flags and you could have problems in your application. So I'm not 100% sure about this, but it was mentioned in a mail I got from KCL long back, and some of my friends also did talk about it. So make sure don't go for more than 3 months. So for example, you're going now in September, October, November, December. So December end you will have to come back. Otherwise go in October, November, December, January. So come back at least 15 days. So you can come back around 15th January or something like that. That's a perfect time for you to go. But to be honest, I really recommend all of you to go back home for a while. So one of the main reasons for that is, you are still on a student visa. That means you cannot work full time right now. Although you're during your dissertation time, it does not mean that you are you're on a holiday. This is a term time. So you're only restricted to work 20 hours per week. That does not give you a full-time opportunity. So of course you can continue your jobs wherever you're doing. But if you're looking for full-time jobs right now, that is not possible. So you can get a full-time job only after you finish your course, that is around September end or October, whatever date is provided to you. But then you can say, okay, after September, October, I can do a full-time job. Yes, you can, but it is not that easy, because for the majority of the companies to hire you, they would prefer you having a PSW. So if you're currently at some job and if they're converting you full-time, so for example, if you're working at a bar and they want to convert you full-time, yes, that's possible. But if you apply for new jobs, the very first question they would ask you is, are you on a PSW? So if you're contacting recruiters, if you're sending messages, it's very unlikely that a student visa would get a full-time job. So they would say like, okay, wait until you get a PSW and then we will talk, which will happen around January, February, depends on when you apply. If you apply in December, you will get your PSW in Jan. If you apply in Jan, you will get your PSW in Feb. So I would recommend like delay your application process as much as you can, just because then you can stay in the country longer for after the next 2 years. Otherwise by December you will have to leave, but otherwise you will have like 1 extra month to get a sponsored visa right here. So yeah, so that's the best time to go back home, because now you don't have any job commitments, you don't have like stress of applying to full-time jobs, because of course you can always apply from your own home, but then it's very unlikely to get a full-time job while you're on a student visa. So all these reasons make it the best time to go back home. Like a lot of my friends went back for 2-3 months, they had the best time ever, ghar ka khana and all of that, and when they came back here they started applying and eventually landed a job. So before we end the video, I'm going to take a minute to talk to you about Amber Student. So if you have any friends who are planning to come to the UK or go abroad to any other country and is looking for accommodation, Amber Student is the place to be. So I've added the link in the description box below. You can send it to them and they can register and find the best options for the best rates at Amber Student. And that's it from my end. I hope this video was helpful and see you next video. Bye bye.